Hey guys, Julius here. Um, I'm here to talk about a movie I recently rewatched. I thought I'd give it a second chance when rewatching it. Yeah, it's a movie. I mean, it's fun. You know, it's just it was well, a little tough watching it again. The movie it marks the end of the DCEU, and it is titled Flash, starring Take one of The Flash. Here we are, talking about one of the greatest comic book films ever made, in my opinion, The Flash. 2023 was an eventful year for cinema, without a doubt. We had an abundance of franchise films and all sorts of sequels and reboots that came out, but the one that really stood out was definitely 2023's The Flash, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Grant Gustin in the role of the titular hero.
Tell me something. You can go anywhere. Another timeline. Another universe. So why do you want to stay and fight to save this one? Mom.
This was a very ambitious project for many reasons. Obviously, we'd been waiting for a Flash film for years. Ever since the DCEU started, we already had a great television show that never had a bad season, starring Grant Gustin, and with news of the DCEU ending to make way for James Gunn's DCU, the continuity of these characters through multimedia platforms had to be reestablished, but not without a project that brought us some sort of closure, some sense of finality. And this was one of the few times when Warner Brothers really chose wisely in terms of their director, someone with vision, and there's no one with better vision in film than Spielberg himself. He's one of the greatest filmmakers of all time, and this, I think, is possibly his greatest film ever. There's Jaws, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Schindler's List, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Saving Private Ryan. But The Flash, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Grant Gustin, it just brings joy to my soul. And this is something that was even teased earlier within Spielberg's career in Catch Me If You Can.
Drop it! Relax! You're late, all right? My name's Alan, Barry Allen, United States Secret Service. Your boy just tried to...
I've always loved Spielberg's approach to cinema and his love for comic book films. So for a movie with the scope and the responsibility like The Flash to land in his hands, obviously, it made everyone really excited for the project. And I absolutely love that Spielberg respected the fans enough and Grant Gustin enough to bring him on, because after nearly a decade of carrying this character, he deserved the chance to show us on the big screen what he's capable of as an actor. And in this film, he's never been better. Now, obviously, this movie did a lot of things that fans were very pleased by. It brought us the closure of two universes separately. The DCEU started with Zack Snyder's Man of Steel, and the Arrowverse started with Arrow, starring Stephen Amell. Not to bore you guys, I mean, you already know the plot here, but to break it down for those who might not have seen this epic of a film. After years of traveling through time, Barry Allen of Earth 1 has really broken the universe. He's traveled in time plenty of times to go see his mother, save his mother, but this time in trying to repair all the damage that he's caused within the timeline, he has effectively fractured the multiverse, and universes are disappearing, dying. It's the end of literally everything.
I warned you not to mess with the timeline. I'm here to save you. I will save my mom.
You can also destroy everything.
You changed the future. You changed the multiverse.
And this point is animated when we see Grant Gustin's Flash meet Ezra Miller's Flash right after the damage is done. This is the last scene of Ezra Miller's Flash as he disappears due to the actions of Grant's Flash. This affects the DCEU's world heavily, because without a Flash, they're more vulnerable than ever. That's where Ben Affleck's Batman comes in, to team up with Grant Gustin. They travel through the multiverse, seeing multiple Earths, different versions of themselves, and they chase the Grand Master of this plan, the arch-rival of the Flash, Eobard Thawne, the Reverse Flash.
Whatever tragedy you think you've just averted, time will find a way to replace it. Trust me, Barry. The next one could be much worse.
It's pretty much a multiversal road trip film, which I think I can speak for most fans. When we heard that a Flash movie was going to happen with the multiverse in mind, it's kind of what we were hoping for. And thank God Spielberg delivers, because it was just a masterclass of not only fan service, but using fan service to elevate your story, very much in the way that something like Spider-Verse does. The Spider-Verse films are chock filled with cameos, but they understand that you still need heart to a film. You need an essence that will make us care about the characters. And since we have such history with Grant Gustin's The Flash, a whole show's worth, it's easy to connect with him. And it's exciting to see him run full speed, all his potential realized on the big screen. I remember seeing the movie with my friend Andrew in the theater in IMAX, and when we saw Grant up there, it was really exciting. It was just a really cherishing moment that meant everything. I grabbed him by the hand and I said, this is what movies are about. I'm really glad we're here to see this. I'm glad we're alive to see this film. And of course, Spielberg knows how to do the goods in this film. He knows what we want to see. You got Batman in this film, Ben Affleck's Batman. But he gets to meet a couple different characters that we're familiar with.
Batman's real?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Ben Affleck's Batman meets, on screen, Michael Keaton's Batman. And it is an incredible tour de force of a meeting. It's one of the cherries on top. And this has multiple cherries as a film. To see two Batmen meet on screen for the first time, I would have died if Christian Bale showed up. But to see just two of them meet, it was on the level of something like No Way Home, seeing the three Spider-Men meet, which was surreal in a way, but you don't expect this really with Batman because the character is taken so seriously, especially these two versions of the character who are darker, who have killed in their respective films. But to see them come together on screen, to meet, and to heal each other, and for Barry Allen, the character we've been seeing for a decade go through his trials and tribulations, to see him heal, it's the heart of the film. It's everything you would want in a movie about a superhero.
Lights on.
I love that this movie is about letting go of your guilt and finding your destiny and considering different possibilities of what you could be. Because we get plenty of cameos in this, but once again, they're there to serve the story. They're there to enhance the character of Grant Gustin's Barry Allen. Characters such as Jay Garrick, Wally West, Bart Allen, different versions of Barry. Versions we're familiar with, but other versions that we're not as familiar with. I love that there was foresight ahead of time when making this film. They introduced the new Flash in this film, the Flash of James Gunn's DCU, and it was a beautiful passing of the torch. I loved it. When we saw Grant Gustin meet his successor to the role of the Scarlet Speedster, played by Zac Efron, it only excited me more for the DCU. 2023's The Flash, directed by Steven Spielberg, brought back film in the theater. In a time where movie theaters are struggling to thrive and to have a joyous experience, this movie really did sum up everything we needed, everything we've been missing from going to the movie theaters. And I didn't even mention all the crazy other cameos in this. To see Henry Cavill actually show up and get his final goodbye, his sense of justice. To see him meet Brandon Routh's Superman. To see Burt Ward show up. To see Keanu Reeves return to his role as John Constantine. Seeing all the universes colliding and having it represent the collapse morally that Barry is experiencing. This tragedy is due to his actions. It's a beautiful metaphor. When you don't take accountability for your own actions, and you don't let things go, and they stir up, and they become these parasitic ideas that never leave your mind, everything collapses. And this movie pays beautiful homage to our fallen DC heroes, Adam West, Christopher Reeve, in the most poetic and charming and classy way you could ever hope that they would do it. And yes, I gotta bring up one of my favorite cameos in the film, Nicolas Cage as Superman. He was old, he showed up in his suit. He didn't fight a giant spider though, that was a little disappointing. But to see him kind of encapsulate that Alex Ross Kingdom Come version of Kal-El must have been a dream come true for him. I'm kind of glad they didn't go in the direction of putting him in the suit they tested for the Tim Burton film. I'm glad he didn't have the long black hair or anything. He was just an aged up, lived in Superman that had some distinct qualities to him, some character to him actually. And then at the end, after we see the huge war, the huge battle, it all comes down to Barry making a choice to reverse his actions, understanding that these universes, they're done. Their time has come and passed. All they can do is heal the multiverse by starting anew. And this is when a beautiful moment happens, where all the Flashes we've ever seen run together. Grant Gustin, John Wesley Sipp, Zac Efron, Ezra Miller, Michael Rosenbaum. They all run to the Speed Force, tapping into the heart of the multiverse to start the new universe. And from here on, I don't know. I don't know where it goes from here. Only James Gunn knows. All I can say now is that The Flash is one of my favorite superhero movies of all time. Bravo Spielberg, bravo Keaton, bravo Affleck, bravo Gustin, bravo DC, and bravo Warner Brothers. I love this film, and if you haven't seen it, you're really missing out. Gotta check it out, man. It's unbelievable. The Flash is, it's a freaking masterpiece, dude. It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, I don't have much else to say, really, but, you know, the movie happened, it came out, and, you know, what else, right? Yeah. Alright, I guess that's it. Bye-bye.